Hi guys, how you doing? So, welcome to week 4, and let's look at week 3 real quick because I had a lot of comments. And you know what, guys? You know how I am by now. I'm a result guy, and I'm pretty demanding. So, if you guys feel like I'm really drilling you here, I am probably more than you have been before. With other instructors and other professors. That's my style. I know some people really love it, and I know some people are like, "Come on, would you take it easy already?" But that's where we're at, and so I'm going to continue along that path to drive you to as near perfection as possible in not only learning the materials but in presenting the materials as well. So, um, week 3, assignment 1 was it was no surprise. I really think that this chapter 3, week 1 assignment is going to make a lot more sense once we get through week 4. And this isn't the first time we've seen this in this class. We've seen elements arise a little, maybe surface their head in one week and then really show themselves in the next or the following week after that. So unfortunately, that's the balance that we have, and there's just really no way to present one piece first. So here you have it. And for those of you who were so frustrated during week 1 and week 2, I hope this is making sense now. So we had the 11 sustainable design questions, and you should put all 3 of your pieces through those 11 questions, not just one, or not putting them through as a group. The 11 questions were designed for this particular type of individual attention. So you can't really put a group of items through 11 sustainable design questions or any other a design questionnaire, sustainability questionnaire for that matter. So keep that in mind. I think a lot of students are really getting caught up on materials, folks. I really do. And the materials chapter was introduced last week, and we're going to look at the materials chapter again this week. But really take a look at that book. You have to look at the book this week for week 4. Otherwise, you just won't get through the project. But I think everybody did fine on this. I think that we still have a couple out, and I will get to those in grade. I'll go straight to grading with those, but then straight to week 3, assignment 2, where we have our final mock-ups. I think a lot of students miss this requirement right here. Label and describe as appropriate and include in a materials list. So since this, folks, let me show you how project specs work. And this is straight into a design studio as well. So if you have a piece of information that's included with another piece of information within the same heading, those are going to be very tightly related. So in other words, you have render a trade show booth design in Adobe Illustrator, label and describe as appropriate, include a materials list. Okay, so does that mean show the booth and then on a different page, label the parts of it, and then on a different page, give it a materials list? Absolutely not. That means render a trade show booth. In that rendering, label the rendering and describe everything you've labeled, and then include a materials list for those items you have labeled, okay? That's how a spec sheet works. It's not like, okay, let me see if I can streamline this so I can render the trade show booth, then I can label and describe on somewhere else. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, so a few of you had heard about that, and then, the same thing. We're just going through the same thing. We're just struggling through the difference between a design project, a traditional design project, and a sustainable design project. And I spent a little bit of time explaining those differences in your individual videos and your individual responses, but I really want you to understand that. Some of us are just kind of veering off into this just a design project where we're starting to forget about sustainability. So this week, I think if you really pay attention to the reading and the text, we'll reel it back in, because this is the week where the materials really start to come into play. Okay, that said, looks like we've got a couple. I'm going to go back to week and without, well, it is a public forum, so it doesn't matter. We have a few people that posted late, and then we have back here in week 3, we have some folks who posted late. Now, listen, folks, nobody's ever going to call me lazy, but I can't be making videos into next week. So if you want a video critique, I can't be making videos. That's nice. Yes, and I did wonderful in English as well. I cannot continue to make videos much past Saturday night, maybe even Sunday. But if you're if you haven't posted by Saturday, if you're posting on Sunday, I know it's due Sunday. I know the week is over Sunday, but it's due Friday. So if you find yourself posting on Saturday night or Sunday, please don't be surprised if you don't have a video critique, okay? I'll certainly give you a critique. If I have time, I'll give you a video critique. But those of you who want to be assured of a video critique, please post early, okay? Now, week 4, welcome to week 4. Really great week, really a very, very time-consuming week as well, though. So we have environmental impact of graphic design, and that points directly to us, AIGA, American Institute of Graphic Arts, and us, we designers. This points to us. I wish it was longer. It's not, but you do have some weblography things. Oh, folks, weblography, yeah, there's some broken links. Circumnavigate, okay? Take the information out of the link and see if you can relink it, or at least research it. I don't have all the answers, okay? I have not tested all of these links prior to the class. If there's a broken link, all I can do is report it and have them fix it. And so a lot of people were reporting broken links in weblography before they even went through the course materials last week, and found out that the 7th, and after, 10 emails and a bunch of questions in the general questions area, come to find that that information is right there in the course materials. Okay, so please be thorough before sending out the alarm for anything like that, missing information. If there is missing information, please let me know. But be thorough. Make sure it's not located in the LMS. Environment examples of impact of graphic design. This is another really, really good. This one you'll probably lose sleep after this presentation right here. I know I did. It's horrifying. So take a look at that. And then the role of the graphic designer. How do we fit into production? How do we fit into packaging? And how do we fit into sustainability? And how can we make a difference? Life cycle of a product. You're going to be using this, folks, so pay attention. The role of corporations. Well, I'm not going to play that. It's just a simple life cycle, but use it for reference for your assignment, because you have a life cycle assignment. Role of corporations. Listen, right here, I want you guys to read this, all right? Now keep something in mind. Walmart. Walmart's not this big sustainable. Walmart is number one. Obviously, it's fiduciary obligations. Okay, so when we read about Walmart and being a forerunner in packaging network and packaging reduction to reduce carbon dioxide emissions, bullshit. Look how much they saved. They saved $3.4 billion that year. So don't read through things, folks. That one kind of pissed me off a little bit when I read it, but read through things, because that's not sustainability. That's profit. There's a difference. Ultimately, maybe no. There's not a difference. As long as we get where we're going, it's fine how we get there. Okay, but I just want you to be aware of the impetus behind those decisions. Okay. And then again, graphic design influence. So this chapter, this week, we really concentrate on graphic designers. How does this all fit into us? Is graphic design political? You better believe it is. If anybody who doesn't believe graphic design is political, I really challenge you to reassess that statement, because it is. And that's how important we as designers are. Okay, and until we realize that's how important we are, ain't nothing gonna change. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to give you guys a quick story, and I've got a couple minutes left, okay? So back in my, way back when I was, I think I was still in my undergrad program, which was a long time ago. And I had a job interview, and it was an interview, and it was in a pre-production room, a pre-press room. It was actually working on a production floor. And it was a wonderful opportunity for a young designer. I was going to be in the business. I was going to be in a pre-press room, and I was going to be assisting with design, as well as doing boring pre-press. But nonetheless, foot in the door, right? So I had my interview, I got the job, and I was like, oh, this is great. Can I see the press room? So the press room floor. So they took me to the press room, and I'm looking at these runs, and there are big web presses and all sorts of different kind of presses going, and I'm looking around, and I'm going, nobody ever told me what we're printing here. So I was like, what's going on? This is weird. So I don't know if you've ever seen a web machine run, but it spins by so fast you can't see what's on the paper. So what I ended up doing is I ended up getting back onto the production floor. It was a little deceitful, but what I did is I told the person that was taking me on the tour, I said, I left my keys. I know exactly where they're at. And I walked over and I pretended I left something by an open pallet box. And I looked in the box, and the magazines that were being shipped were all porn. They were all like kind of hardcore pornography magazines. And I was like, I'm out. So, I don't even want to delve into this as a designer. I mean, that's not why I don't want to get into that. You know what I'm saying? So I just said, hey, thanks, but no thanks, guys. And I'm sure they figured it out, and I'm sure a lot of folks walked out of the interview once they found out. And if you're the type of designer that can live with that, then that's awesome. That's great. I'm not, and I know that plenty aren't either. So the point I'm trying to make is that we need to put our convictions in front of our design or behind our design, however you want to say that. You know what I'm saying? So we need to believe in something and we need to stick with it. Don't design anything for anybody. You have to believe in it. Paper and digital mediums, again, guys, really good stuff for your final presentation. Good stuff here. A lot of this is from the book, and I'm at 12 minutes, so let me see, week 4 summary. Let's go real quick here in the week. Life cycle analysis, self-explanatory. Okay, folks, look, please pay attention to all the steps to success, all of them. Please go through all of these. I do when I'm grading. So week 4 assignment 2 is your comps, your trade show comps. Remember, just follow these instructions, steps to success. Please, let's go over to the book and let's take a look at the book so we can have a quick see at some really good stuff. So we got chapter 5. Chapter 5, materials and process. So look, materials, paper, inks, processes, and products and services. This is great, because you guys can use this all. Like, remember, for those of you that I was saying, well, what about you're using this paper, but this paper is solvent-based, or it's at least designed to print solvent ink on, so, and a lot of responses, well, I can't find any. Well, here you go. Here's all your paper-making ingredient, your responsible forests and fiber, and guess what? If we go back here, we have projects and services. So over here, you have all sorts of things that can help you. Look, here's a carbon footprint of digital photography versus film photography, materials and processes for signage and display. I mean, the book is a wonderful resource, and I'm pushing on 15 minutes, so I have got to cut it short. Any questions, comments, concerns, of course, folks, get with me. I'm right here, and I'll be glad to respond immediately. Okay, welcome to week 4, guys. Thanks very much.